It's called a promo,
Shut
kid.
your
And
mouth,
if you want to
John.
be the big dog, you're going to have to learn how to do it. So go ahead.
You ready? No! I said, are you ready?
That was good. Glad you finally decided to pull that giant stick out of your butt and have some fun for once in your life.
You're uneducated marks! You sit there on your phones tweeting out your opinions like they're worth a damn. Let me explain something to you people. You don't know shit!
And I'd like to think that maybe this company will be better after Vince McMahon's death.
Alright, I know you're barely here, but
I got you.
this is what I like to call living in a wrestle dream, because we're so tired from watching this pay-per-view in the middle of the night that it feels like I'm living in a wrestle dream.
Drink it in, man.
Couldn't say it better myself.
Jeff's dead.
I couldn't say it better myself, man. We'll be talking like a raspy voice.
You sound like you just woke up. It's just because you haven't been to bed yet.
Hell yeah, bro. I woke up early this morning. We've been on it.
Went to a Revolver show at that, and then came home and watched a pay-per-view starting at midnight. Plus 0 hour.
They can't say we're not dedicated. Overtime Ortiz definitely clocked in overtime today.
It's too much overtime.
Dog.
Okay, I'm gonna list before we get into the pay-per-view and all that, I'm gonna list my Wrestledream what ifs, we call this.
Talk to me.
Mox wins, and we see the AEW debut of Sami Callihan. We'll see. Danielson wins. Christian attempts to cash in his contract, but is stopped by a returning Edge. I feel like that's likely.
Okay.
Tony Storm returns and costs Mariah May the match, giving Willow the win and a massive pop. That one, less likely. But I also have the Mina Shirakawa thinking GIF going with this. I think on that last one, I think it would be cool, but also there's just too much you can do with Mariah May as champion and haven't done yet to really take the belt off her.
She's just warming up, in my opinion, man.
She's just warming up.
She's just warming up,
She's
bro.
in the bullpen warming up.
She's taking out one by one. She's fighting.
Alright, dude. I'm not even gonna, because I'm so tired, I'm not even wasting time. Random note before I get into this pay-per-view and everything about it. I wish we could have a show at this arena all the time. This is probably one of my favorite arena setups I've ever seen. The waterfalls, the lights, everything.
The mountain. I enjoyed the
very
whole,
aesthetically pleasing.
Exactly. Couldn't say a better word. Aesthetically pleasing is the correct word.
The 0 hour, which we started watching in like the car coming back from Revolver. Brian Cage beat Atlantis Jr. for the ROH TV title, and I called it.
You did. I was there. I think it's also, that was the right choice to go. I think Atlantis Jr. held that title for a good minute. Now Brian Cage deservingly so.
It was past time.
Exactly.
It was past time.
Definitely. Who better than Brian Cage?
Anna Jay beats Harley Cameron, which isn't super surprising, but what was surprising was the referee helping Harley Cameron put both shoulders down on the mat. That was kind of...
Yo.
You just made the list!
I don't know what to say to that, but I'm just happy my girl, Anna Jay's getting her flowers and getting the dub like I knew she would.
Getting the dub, I know.
She got the dub. That's all that matters.
I got the Cactus Jack shirt. I meant to wear the Anna Jay shirt today.
You already know.
Hey. I said, damn, I forgot you got a camera on over there. Sick. He's bucking it up. MXN brings Rico back, and I love this pairing. I think it was perfect. Rico's touching tips now, too. As good of a pairing as it is, it's not enough for them to beat the Acclaimed, though, which we get a good match out of it, and we get to see Billy and Rico get into an exchange again. Get a little reunion there for all the Attitude Era fans, the Billy and Chuck fans.
Need you to do me a favor and show a picture of Rico and then show a picture of the Hardy Boys debuting with Michael Hayes and tell me who wore it better.
It's hilarious.
Just a little joke though.
Who wore it better?
I'm just telling you, I felt like it was the same outfit that they had when the Hardy Boys came out with the red shirt.
The new brood.
Bro, not that many people would know that unless you some old heads that like that.
Unless some old heads. Speaking of old heads, let's talk about Tony Khan real quick.
First of all, TK my boss.
Tony Khan comes out with Antonio Inoki's grandsons and tries to do Antonio Inoki's signature chant, and it does not go well at all. At all.
He swung. He swung. I understand what he was trying to accomplish, and I love the love and respect. It just didn't come out, I think, the way he planned it.
It hurt my soul. He tried his best.
Hey, much love.
I wouldn't know what to do in that situation.
Hey,
I would run. I would just turn and run.
The thing is, it's live, baby. That was live pay-per-view.
Yeah.
There's no redos. It's just, hey, keep it going.
Had it not worked, I would have just ran backstage. I probably never would have came out again. I would have let who is it? The infantry. I would have let the infantry do all the openings, like how they emceed the whole.
I was about to say, like they did Collision.
Yeah, they emceed the whole series. If you didn't know, you would have had to been there to know. The Outrunners with Kyle O'Reilly and Orange Cassidy get a win over the Dark Order and Premier Athletes. Nothing surprising there.
Yeah.
But what was cool afterwards, Kyle O'Reilly asks Okada respectfully for a Continental title match, and he says, "No, bitch."
I was about to say, he said, "Let me think." No, bitch.
Oh, bitch. So then Kyle punches him in the face instead, and they both get banned from the building for that.
CD did the right thing. We ain't gonna have no brawl out fights in this pay-per-view.
I could see how banning Okada from the building would change the factor of the title match, the tag team title match, but Kyle being banned from the building just keeps Kyle out of the building. It's not like he has any major factor in anything. Oh, I love this. This character. We got a special guest on the show.
You're just gonna come up on screen, huh?
This is perfect.
You're just gonna take my time and shine, huh?
Alright, talk about Switchblade.
What do you think about that, Riku? Switchblade, huh?
Jay
Guns
White
up.
and Hangman. What you got on Jay White and Hangman? Cat's got nothing. Cat's got your tongue. Jay White comes out with the juice by his side. The juice. Hangman comes out and flips off the crowd.
Get the
Plus,
F out.
not as much energy there. He doesn't have the juice.
That made me laugh, but I'm probably hysterically tired. That was just super funny.
You're literally living in the Wrestledream.
I'm in the Wrestledream. I'm daydreaming.
Match starts off great and only continues as such. I think a lot of people question this being the opening match, but I think it delivered as an adequate.
No, it definitely lived up to the hype delivered. Oh, excuse me.
Get your yawns in. Should have made that a cup of coffee. I was trying to convince him to drink coffee.
No.
Jay White gets some revenge, receipts, and even gets the win clean over Hangman in a solid opening match.
And even
Clean.
that's the crazy thing. He can't get mad. He did it clean.
Couldn't.
Even when he tried to play dirty, it did not work in his favor. Jay White was too smart and clever.
I would not get mad at all. He needed to remind everybody that he's the Switchblade.
He's that catalyst, man.
People needed to be reminded who the Jay White is. Now, women's title match. Just as exciting. Willow comes out happy and clapping as always. And Mariah comes out cocky as always. Always cocky, that Mariah May.
Champion, man. She champ.
Match is solid from the start. A lot of good back and forth. Mariah May gets the win clean with no help or interference. And it's not that it was bad or I was expecting more, but I wasn't expecting it to go down like that. I just wasn't.
I was, man. It's Mariah May, I think we're done with the squash matches, so in my personal opinion, I think it's time, and as the booking's been going, is showing you, okay, these are some of the top wrestlers in the women division, and she's like, I don't care who they are, what they did, one by one, I'll show them that Mariah May is here to stay, and she's delivering it.
No interference, no help. And again, it's not like I was expecting her to be so bad that she needed it. Just Man, she did that all by herself. Against Willow, too. Against someone who's a fan favorite, so. Alright, TNT title match. That's something we're all excited for. Shibata comes rocking out to his banger opening theme. We love the Shibata theme. Jack Perry comes out to his Jungle Boy theme.
No.
Psych, I wish. But I typed it because we're talking about whether or not it's okay to miss the Jungle Boy theme. I think it is. I certainly do miss the woes.
The whoa, 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 whoa.
Either way, whether you want a Jungle Boy theme back or not, we can agree that this is probably the best character work we've seen in years from Jack Perry in his time in wrestling.
I agree. I think it needed a fresh new paint, and I'm one of those people that actually likes the GOAT, the scapegoat identity character. I love everything that he's doing. And I just think it works because whether you love him or hate him, it's just getting him more heat.
It's working.
Exactly. However you feel about him, we're talking about it. Makes you feel some type of way. And if you're booing and flicking him off, he's just giving it right back at you. And he's feeding off that energy, so it's working.
We got to see that title get unveiled, too. I forget that sometimes. We got to see him debut that title that he made with his bare hands.
That's probably one of the most metal things you could do, bro.
Alright, the match is good, which surprises nobody. Everybody knew it was going to be a good match. Shibata looks great, but of course Jack Perry retains. He pinched Shibata as he's having the life choked out of him.
His shoulders were both pinned to the floor, and I think it drove people mad with that finish.
It did.
And it also confused Shibata. Shibata was like, what the heck?
Because everybody thought Jack Perry was out before he even fell down.
The referee counted the 1, 2, 3 with both of his
Technically,
shoulders.
Shibata's the champion right now. Technically, Shibata's the TNT champion as we speak.
Give me a hell yeah!
Afterwards, Perry attacks Shibata, and Daniel Garcia runs out to Shibata's aid.
My boy DG.
It's a little exciting here. This chases Perry out, and then MJF's music hits, of all people. He and Daniel Garcia have a stare down, and Jack Perry cheap shots Garcia in the back of the head with the title. This is what really got interesting to me, was that MJF starts beating down Daniel Garcia. You saw it. He reveals that he's been doing movie star things and that he's tracked down the Dynamite Diamond ring and bought it back from the pawn shop in Buffalo that it was pawned off to.
He puts it on, gives it the classic kiss.
You gonna kiss this ring?
He said, "You gonna kiss this ring?"
And then, of all things, we hear whose music? Adam Cole, baby.
That was a good, shocking surprise and one of the biggest
Did not
pops.
see that coming. Most people didn't. I mean,
That swerved me.
Really surprised he's returning as a face too. On top of that, I'm not surprised, but I'm baffled at like the flippy flop nature of how this keeps getting handled. Like Adam Cole has just changed roles each time he shows up every 6 months. Which again, not saying that he's like not showing up to work. It's just it's weird.
I'm telling you, he's just one of those people, love him or hate him. It's like you really can't hate Adam Cole, whether he's heel or face. He's always going to get a pop. Everyone's going to do Adam Cole, baby.
I like him more as a heel because like we're in that era of wrestling where like if you're a cool heel, you're liked more.
True.
But I'm just happy to see him back. Period. I just want him to stay back, and that's it.
Stay healthy, get in. I wanted to see some Adam Cole matches, man. I'm ready for it. I'm ready to see him climb the mountain and do the chase.
Yeah, I said it like a year or so ago. Adam Cole should be AEW champion already. I don't know how we get there, especially knowing what I know now. But I'm gonna get far ahead of myself if I start talking about that picture. Let's talk about the international title picture because that's where I'm at now. Takeshita comes out looking ready to win a title. I think a lot of people were rooting for him, even though Will Ospreay is supposed to be the fan favorite. This was a time where Takeshita was more popular than Will Ospreay. And I think that's just a testament to like how much he deserves the win.
We've been watching this young athlete grow, and we're talking about before he was before he went heel. We're talking about his great matches with Jon Moxley, Kenny Omega, Jericho, all real like A-list superstars he was fighting. And we're talking about from that point to now, seeing where he goes. Yeah, he's a star in the making, champion even so, but I just see nothing like. I feel like wrestling future is definitely heading to him. He's going to be leading the way for this generation.
I'm saying he's the next generation's wrestler.
Definitely.
I feel like, and this is a shot in the dark, there's going to be a day where kids are talking about Takeshita like the way we talk about the Shawn Michaels, the AJ Styles, like those caliber of wrestlers.
I think it's a fair assessment, man. He's just a different type of beast.
Generation defining, they call it.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it, bro. He's a beast. My bad.
It's all right.
He's a freaking beast.
It's true. Ricochet comes out looking ready to flip around himself, and that doesn't mean that's all he could do, but
Boy,
he flips around, that's for sure. Will Ospreay comes out looking like the real one and only true champion. This match, steal the show potential.
So many good spots in this match. So many false finishes too.
On the start, Ospreay and Ricochet start teaming up against Takeshita to make it a one-on-one, but Takeshita wasn't having that at all. Match from that point only continues to go off. A bunch of crazy-ass spots in this match. I wrote that down as well. A lot of high-energy action and suspense. Many points of uncertainty in who was going to win it. And many points where the crowd was losing their marbles. If I do say so myself.
I was definitely one of them. We were one of them. We were all.
We were the crowd at home. The home crowd was losing their marbles too. Takeshita puts Ricochet through the table in a nasty ass way as well. A nasty table spot. Ospreay hits a hidden blade on Takeshita and he kicks out at one. At one, bro.
That made me pop so hard. The fact that he kicked out at one.
Ospreay hits another, and then Don Callis yanks the ref out the ring. Don tries to stab Ospreay, but almost catches a Tiger Driver for doing so. I wanted to see that. I think we all wanted to see that.
Hell yeah, bro. I wanted to see that. He deserves it.
Then the saddest moment happened. Kyle Fletcher came out and hit Ospreay with a screwdriver and quite literally screwed Ospreay out of the international title. Takeshita wins the belt, which is, hey, cool. And then Kyle hits a Tiger Driver on Ospreay. Sad day, but I kind of felt like we knew it was coming.
He made a statement with that one, bro.
It was like Kyle kind of was either going to have to leave the family or leave Ospreay.
Yeah, I feel like it has to go back with the... It could go back from the tag team titles, man. Thinking like, hey, if you would just let me hit that screwdriver on... oh boy, we would have been tag team on the Bucks. We would have been tag team champions.
It would have made me so sad.
It would have been sad, but Will's like, nah, not this way. So I feel like it's also a callback with that one.
Rip. Alright, let's get to something that could have been sad, but ended up not being sad, and ended up being really interesting. You see Prince Nana in the ring. I love that guy. Mm-hmm. And he's out to introduce Swerve to make an announcement. Swerve comes out to a welcome home chants. We love that. We love some good welcome home chants. Swerve says he's been healing and dealing with the tingling in his neck and other areas, but is now medically cleared.
Give me a hell yeah!
Means positive news for you. He attempts to address his future, but gets interrupted by MVP, who is tired of being avoided by Swerve. He says Swerve and he have history, and that he's always believed in Swerve. He also says that Swerve's career has been floundering like a fish. Says he's in the business of reminding great champions why they're great. That's what he wants to do for Swerve. Swerve gives MVP and Shelton both their appropriate respect acknowledgement, which is something I wanted. I wanted Shelton Benjamin to get a little bit of acknowledgement, and you got that.
Oh, you got that all right.
And then acknowledges the fact that a lot of the bad shit that has happened under Nana's watch, and that Nana is also responsible for him having the things that he has as well, so there's a little bit of balance there.
Yeah!
He lists out all the annoying things about Nana and tells him that he's family, and he doesn't turn his back on family for anyone. So this, of course, turns into an altercation between Swerve and Shelton. After Shelton tells Swerve, they're not asking, they're telling him type shit. What did you think about that segment?
I'm wondering, are we going to see Shelton Benjamin on Dynamite this
That's what I'm
Wednesday?
thinking.
And if so, I'm for it, man. I want that.
I'll take Shelton Benjamin anywhere I can get him.
Hell yeah, brother.
The last time, this is really random, last time I saw Shelton Benjamin wrestle, it was on a main event, like the pre-show before WWE. It's like, yeah, I don't think you've ever been to a WWE show, or at least not in a long time. Main events before that.
Main event.
Shelton Benjamin gets dark matches in WWE, but in AEW, we might see him on Dynamite. Fingers crossed. Hologram versus the Beast Mortos in a 2 out of 3 falls match.
That match popped off. I love this match. This match was really good.
Yeah, Hologram's first ever AEW pay-per-view debut. Didn't even realize it, but we were like, oh yeah, that's true. Mortos comes out during his entrance. We cut to the Spanish announce team featuring legendary Carlos Cabrera, and I thought that was super cool. Super cool.
Give me a hell yeah.
I didn't realize that AEW had him a part of the team. I guess this is also part of like the Fox. Mexico broadcasting going. Awesome.
Give me a hell yeah.
Excuse me, I burped for that legend. These two men wrestle a good lucha libre match, of course, which is what we were expecting. Hologram gets the first fall. Not long after, he gets thrown onto the ramp and takes a gnarly back bump. Mortos takes control from there and gets a pinfall victory of his own. Nothing changes in the department of being a good match. In fact, it only turns into an even better one, I say. I almost think Mortos is going to win it, but Hologram hits the Thunder Bomb and gets his first pay-per-view win. Were you expecting him to win?
I was expecting Mortos to win, to believe it or not. I thought Hologram was going to get his first loss.
No. Not to Mortos. His
Mortos
first loss is going to be dealt out by Vikingo, if anybody.
Mortos is a beast, though, man. Literally, quite literally.
They're going to feed him to Hangman or somebody big.
They did a Poison Rana on the apron, bro, and landed it so nicely that I'm like, godly, I'm watching two masters at work at Lucha Libre style, and I'm spoiled.
Here's something I'm wondering. Here's where my mind's going. If we're going to keep Hologram this undefeated for this long, and like I'm wondering, okay, who beats him? I'm also wondering, when does he get a title shot? Like, and why don't we do the rankings anymore? Where is he on the rankings?
You just made the list.
I wouldn't be able to tell you that. There's a lot of things about that I hear from different sources.
It's like something tells me if he's undefeated, he should be in the top 5 of the AEW rankings that are supposed to be a thing. And by that logic, he should have a title match.
We'll see, man. Not knowing.
Jack Perry versus Hologram Wednesday. Jack Perry versus or Hologram versus Okada.
Oof.
Yeah, that's what you wanted, I know. Darby Allin versus Brody King. That's our next match. Darby Allin gets a cool Tony Hawk's Pro Skater-esque type video package for his entrance, and he gets a good home state reaction as well. Brody King just comes out looking scary and ready to break Darby in half, and starts the match off immediately doing just that, trying to break Darby in half. This match has, as expected, an insane amount of hard-hitting and rough-to-watch spots. I mean, like, really rough-to-watch spots. It hurt my back.
The steel step one's the one I think of immediately when you say that.
Big one to mention amongst many is the drops onto the stairs. Those hurt my back.
There was a point where the steel steps were on Darby, and you just see Brody King literally just 1 step, 2 step, 3 step, and he just keeps on stomping, doing the roof, roof, roof. And I was just like, yo, this man is crazy.
Darby gets a hard-fought win out of this one. Like I said, just crazy hard hitter that was hard to watch. In other words, a Darby Allin match.
Bro,
I think they're all like that.
Definitely would recommend to see this match for the sickos.
So if it's the Darby Allin match, I could probably expect it to be hard to watch at some point, but in a good way.
Right?
Not in a bad way.
Not in a bad way. In a great way.
It's like early 2000s Jeff Hardy, which back then, like, if you put current Darby Allin against that Jeff Hardy, Darby Allin's way crazier, but like, Jeff Hardy walked so Darby Allin could run.
Oh, yeah.
He barricade walked so Darby Allin could fall through glass.
Damn.
Okay, well, little tag team action. And I was hoping this was going to be like second to the main event. I was wondering why this and the ROH World Title match weren't switched, but you take matches where they come. Young Bucks, Private Party, a lot of history here. Private Party holds a victory over the Bucks. That was a factor coming in.
Mm-hmm.
Bucks come out cocky as ever. Top Flight and Leo Rush seated ringside for this match. Also, Action Andretti was there. I thought he wasn't at first, but he was. I thought they kind of had a little bit of dissension going on amongst them, but hey, Andretti was there. He was dretting. Private Party enter with an inspirational video package before they came out. They came out looking ready to win the belts. I'm anticipating a good match for this one.
Yeah!
Before the match gets started, the Bucks grab the mic and tell Private Party they'll never be anything more than a mid-card act.
The disrespect.
I was about to say, how does that make you feel? This starts a fight, and the fight carries up to the stage quickly, where we get a spot seeing Quinn jump off the entrance tunnel. After that, they get back to the ring just as quickly and actually start the match, and it starts off hot. Lots of great offense, both teams. Stays just exciting throughout the entire match, I'd say. Doesn't ever really turn down or stop being interesting. And I make notes like that on tag team matches because I'm not a tag team wrestling fan.
Really?
So, yeah, when the tag team match goes off and stays interesting, I make note of it.
Okay, I'll keep that in mind.
At a lot of points, you think the Private Party are going to win it, and they almost do. The pops they got when they almost won or when they kicked out of the Bucks finishes, they kicked out of the EVP trigger.
Isaiah did that shit. That was crazy.
EVP trigger. You even said yourself, all the false finishes are killing me. I quoted you on that directly. All the false finishes are killing me.
They were, man. I was really, as a young Bucks fan, I'm going for them, but literally this is the first time I'm actually rooting against them.
It's like you kind of feel like you want to root for Private Party.
I did. I was behind them.
The Bucks hit one more TK driver and put them away. But man, good ass match, right? Good ass match.
They were loved by that match. Standing ovation, nothing but Private Party chants were cheered around the whole arena as an emotional Isaiah Cassidy was feeling like he let Mark Quinn down, but I don't think there was nothing to be ashamed of, even from the announcers and even from, I think, any standpoint of a fan watching in the arena and from home. Mm-hmm. Nothing to be ashamed. Head held high, definitely for Private Party, and definitely this will not, and I guarantee will not be the last time they will see the Bucks. They are definitely going to have to run that back.
They'll run it back. I thought we'd see Private Party split up tonight, to be honest. That's what I'm glad they didn't. I was anticipating in that moment after the match when they're in the ring. I was like, he's crying because better break up Private Party right now.
No, they're not. This is no diss
this
to
is
my other
party
favorite.
Now.
This ain't no diss to my other favorite tag team, the Santana and Ortiz. That ain't a situation. What they failed to do, I believe Private Party is going to succeed in. You can quote me on that.
I like that. What I also like is the Ring of Honor World Title, and I take it seriously. And Ring of Honor World Title match, in some context, co-main event of this pay-per-view. If you want to look at it like that, why they wanted Jericho to do it, I think, was despite a lot of fans, and that's okay with me because I think it's funny. But ROH World Title match, Jericho comes out with Big Bill by his side, and we see Jim Ross is out ringside for commentary now.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's just as main event worthy as anything else. Briscoe comes out ready to fight, looking more serious on that than usual. He always looks ready to fight, but he looks ready to somebody up today. That's what this is. Bell rings and Mark starts bringing the fight immediately. Love that. Just come to blows as soon as we start the match. They go at each other and it turns into a brawl outside at one point. We see Big Bill get involved and pull out a table. My favorite thing to see. Orange Cassidy comes out to even the odds and stop Big Bill. And from there we resume the match in the ring where it really just becomes slow-paced wrestling match for a while. And when you're watching this pay-per-view at 3 a.m, that's hard. That's hard.
Who you telling, dog? Who are you telling?
It got difficult at this point, but we stayed with it. Action picks back up, and we see Briscoe put himself through the table. That sparked some life back into me when I heard the table crack. Jericho hits a Judas effect and then hits a J Driller, disrespectfully at that, to which Mark Briscoe kicks out of, rightfully so. I'm not taking that. Mark hulks up and goes chicken mode, hits the Froggy Bow, J Driller, gets the win, as it should be. Mark Briscoe retains. I think it wouldn't have made sense for Jericho to hold that title again.
No.
It just doesn't.
I think the fans would definitely rioted if Chicken lost that title.
Yeah, I'm not even a big Jericho hater. I love him, and I think it's funny the kind of direction he took the criticism he was getting. But on that note, he doesn't need to be the Ring of Honor champion.
Doesn't need to be the Nueve.
I still argue Roderick Strong could have been that champion, but this is not that. This is we've moved on. I've moved on.
It's still real to me, damn it.
All right, it's about to get into the big deal, the big pickle, the AEW World Title match.
It's for all the marbles.
Yeah, this is the big one. And no matter who wins this, I'm happy. So let's get into it. You can go ahead and know. Going into it, I'm happy no matter what. Moxley comes out through the crowd area with Marina pushing barricades out the way and death staring fans. I would have loved to have been one of those fans.
You get the death stare?
Yeah. I want her to push me out the way, out of Moxley's way as I'm trying to dap him up. He doesn't want to touch my hand.
He's like, get away from me.
Danielson comes out to the final countdown looking emotional and taking it all in, and Mox attacks him as he's doing so. They then proceed to fight ruthlessly and violently, while the final countdown continues to play because Tony said, well, I paid a lot of money for it, so might as well just get my money's worth. That's what I feel like's going on in that moment.
I liked it.
It's like, well, yeah, I pay a lot of money for this. I might as well use it. Gets a good big fight feel. Danielson rolls Moxley back into the ring after thwarting off the fight from Moxley and Marina and starts going full octane offense on him, all while getting the crowd rocking and screaming. He's getting that crowd hyped up. Danielson goes all over the place, beating Moxley and giving him yes kicks on the Spanish announce desk when Moxley gets the better of him and pile drives Danielson on the desk. From this point, pace changes and slows down tremendously, like a lot. We see Marina get involved more as well. Not great. Moxley goes on a methodical dissection of Bryan and starts picking him apart. Pretty brutal stuff. It's pretty brutal stuff. Danielson tries to come back and combat it, but man, is it hard when Moxley just stays breaking him down and staying vigilant. It's the form of Jon Moxley's wrestling style that appeals most to me. He just doesn't let you breathe.
And he'll get whatever part of your body that's injured, you best to believe he's going to go for it and pick at it.
He was just ruthless. We see Bryan and Mox come to blows, and Moxley seems to win that at first, but the second stint saw Bryan winning it and starting to build momentum. Marina tries to interfere and stop this, but gets ejected from the match at that point.
Out of here.
You're out of here. Danielson kicks his head in and locks him into submissions, but of course, Mox doesn't tap. He doesn't do stuff like that. Moxley gives Bryan a Death Rider onto the exposed concrete outside that was introduced earlier into this match. But of course, Bryan kicks out of this. He had to. They get into a mat wrestling match at one point that sees Bryan win out of it and hit a psycho knee, but Mox kicks out of it. And I wasn't sure if he would at that point. I was getting to the point of the match I didn't think they were going to kick out anymore. Mox hits his Death Rider and Danielson kicks out at 1. That got a pop out of me. Bryan spits in Moxley's face and slaps him, and then Moxley pile drives him and locks him in a choke, and Bryan goes to sleep. That's where he gets a little tougher. Moxley becomes a 4-time AEW champion and bows to Danielson. He said it himself, this is the way it had to be. Do you agree? Is this the way it had to be?
No.
Oh.
I wanted Bryan to definitely retain. But if anyone that was going to dethrone Bryan, it makes sense that it was Moxley.
I have to toot my own horn here. I mean, I said it from the moment Danielson won that title that there was one guy that was going to take it off him. And I kind of felt like it was going to be at this juncture, too. And
You brought it into fruition.
the way it happened, I didn't foresee, but I wasn't surprised at all. And I can honestly say, like, hey, it was some rough stuff, but I'm really, really happy that it could end the way it did. Like, you can't ask for more. And also, with Jon Moxley I'll put it like this, because this is just getting personal now. This isn't even about wrestling in the middle. This is about Irwin and wrestling. When it comes to Jon Moxley and Bryan Danielson, they're 2 out of 3 of my favorites. So it's kind of like it's awesome no matter what. But this really got my head thinking, like, who do I like more out of these two? And it was pretty apparent to me I like Jon Moxley more, and I was comfortable with this being the way they went because of their history. Man, if I could just write it myself, this is the same way I would have done it.
Interesting.
It's beautiful. Moxley then gives the belt to Claudio, who shoves it into a duffel bag. I'm really interested to see where that's going. Then they get a plastic bag out again to, I guess suffocate Bryan to death. But Wheeler and Darby come to the aid. At least we thought. We thought they were coming to the aid. Wheeler turns on Darby, hitting him with the Psycho knee. That was actually kind of cool to see Wheeler hit it. Wheeler cries as he watches them tape Darby up to the ropes. And then they make Wheeler Yuta suffocate Bryan with the plastic bag. That was pretty dark shit.
That was like gang, like, show me your loyalty.
Yeah.
By choking out the one you love.
That literally. They don't stop there. Claudio stomps Bryan's head on the ground with a chair wrapped around his neck. Then the locker room comes out to put an end to it all. What took them so long, though? Like, if they were going to come out to stop it, they should have stopped it a minute ago. A couple guys tried. Jeff Jarrett tried.
Private Party tried.
Yeah.
They tried, but Moxley and them, Moxley and them, they were not letting anyone interfere into this.
They needed more than a tag team that wrestled 45 minutes ago and barely got dressed and a 65-year-old man. I think that's even underselling how old Jeff Jarrett actually is. Yeah. They cut Darby from the bottom rope and stretcher Danielson out. Well, they didn't actually stretcher him out yet. He was just being put onto the stretcher. With everyone ringside kneeling and Excalibur even crying on commentary. Whether that was a sell or he was genuinely emotional, I don't know. But, hey.
You could hear it and you felt it.
It added to it. The crowd chants "Thank you, Bryan" for a minute, and then they go off the air with a very morbid and quiet scene of Bryan still being tended to. I don't think this is the end of Bryan, though. Maybe that's why I have so much optimism. I think he will be back one day to settle this. It probably won't be anytime soon, but I think that this is not the end of Bryan Danielson in whole. I think we'll still see the end of this story. I think it'll come to fruition in another way.
I hope you're right. I really do hope you're right.
And again, I would have been happy though. I wanted him to retain. When the match was going on, I was rooting for Danielson, but it was momentary. It was like, I'm rooting for him for the longevity of his career and the benefit of seeing him wrestle. And even then, if he loses, I'm fine. I've been fine.
It's still real to me, damn it.
Thank you so much for watching this episode today, and we will continue very shortly. But I want to quickly give a thank you to the sponsor of today's episode and talk about something that I've recently been getting into. And if you're a really on-the-go, busy type of person like I am, you'll want to hear this. Today's episode is sponsored by Optavia, a low-sodium, calorie-efficient, sustainable diet plan that not only is catered to helping you reach your weight loss goals, but links you in with a personal health coach to help guide you alongside your health journey. And the best part, your coach is somebody who has already been on the same weight loss journey and found success in doing so. So not only a healthy diet that will supply you with ready meals and low-calorie snacks, but link you in with somebody who can help keep you motivated and educated on your way to a successful weight loss journey. I myself have been doing the diet and I am really happy with the results so far, guys. I get a lot of these turkey meatball meals. The beef stew is my go-to lunch. A lot of times when I'm getting ready for the day, you will see me drinking on these Optavia shakes that I love. And the most important thing about this is how often I drink water. You drink a lot of water. It seems like it's hard, but I'm telling you personally, my coach keeps me educated, motivated, and properly hydrated. It is achievable. If you would like to get in contact with our show's personal coach and get started on your Optavia health journey, contact our email listed below in the description with the word Optavia. That's OPTAVIA. Or just head over to www.optavia.com and get started on your own time with your own coach. Now, back to the program. Alright, I know you're ready for this because I'm ready for this as well. That's why we did a shorter episode. But also it's because we didn't do any video game matches or anything. We went straight to the point on this. This is just as pure wrestling, pure podcast as it gets.
Yes.
It's just All right, final pay-per-view thoughts. I'm gonna slide my final pay-per-view thoughts in. And you can tell me yours afterwards. It'll probably be about the same, I'm sure. For me, 4.5. No need to explain why. It was awesome. It was amazing. Perfect. No, it wasn't perfect.
Yeah.
But AEW always delivers, and while not my favorite way to end pay-per-view, still have to say I called it. And not only did I call it, but I'm interested to see where it goes, especially with that belt. That belt being put in that bag interests me. And if there's a new AEW title belt, I don't know how I feel about that. It better be pretty damn good looking.
I would have to say 4 for me. I'll take the half away because, like you said,
He hated it.
I didn't hate
Like, that means you hate it? It's a really great rating.
No, it's a great rating, and like you said, it's not perfect. There were some things that I could have, like you said, I would have went different direction, but that's just me and my personal. But I think it still delivered, knocked it out of the park. Definitely rewatchable. Like, I could see myself rewatching this tomorrow morning all over again.
It's like I probably have to. I don't remember half of it.
Nah, definitely rewatchable. Definitely would recommend to anyone that hasn't seen an AEW match or pay-per-view. Definitely would still even recommend this one because this one's definitely a Wrestle Dream, or in this case for me, a Wrestle Nightmare.
Well, it could be nightmarish considering the ending.
Yeah.
I feel like it's a fever dream the way I literally just experienced so much wrestling in the past 12 hours.
Non-stop.
I know.
Non-stop.
I thought about watching 0 Hour at the show, but hey, shout out to Pro Wrestling Revolver. That was one hell of a show.
That was a really fun show too.
And in a couple weeks, we'll put out an episode of that to you.
That's some great footage.
Dude, yeah. Appreciate you staying up till 6 in the morning to record this with me.
Hey man, I'm here. Like I said, we in this together, brother.
Just gonna keep laying them out. But Wrestledream, it was awesome. I'm going to bed now. You can stay up.